Hi everyone. We had a full moon this weekend, and coming up tomorrow is the winter solstice. So I wanted to do a reading for this full moon cycle for the next couple of weeks, which is about culmination and receiving and letting go and shedding. So this full moon in Gemini is a lot about communication and standing up, speaking your truth, and being in your own authentic voice. So I'm just calling in all of the people that may be watching this live or tuning in later for the next couple of weeks to view their reading for this full moon in Gemini. Okay, so take a minute and select one of the piles that resonates with you. Very good. So we'll start with the furthest from the left, this one. We'll put these two aside. So this card is Dumu, Queen Lady of the Chariot. So for this cycle, it's a lot about this regal owning of your own power. Dumu is the queen of the heavens, actually. She has many names, and she's the mother of these 9 stars. These are the Big Dipper, and then these two you can't really see, but they're still in the heavens. And those are the 9 kings of heaven. So it's a lot about birthing, and she's driving this chariot that's carried by the ox or the cow. And the bull has to do with this steady discipline, work, and consistency. So there is that kind of direct understanding and sort of clarity and direction with this card. That card is coming from this place of abundance. This card is an earth card. It says, centered and receptive, all is granted. So this earth card is really about just being in your own light, being in your own sun, and really glowing and receiving all of those insights from your sun and from your intuition, and not really having to do much, just being in this receptive state. And this card is more about movement and moving toward the Spirit Guides card. The Spirit Guides card, it says, group connectivity and communication. And it's the Rat Zodiac. And the Rat Zodiac is a lot about partnership and group telepathy even, a lot of social media or internet kind of communication. And the moon in this card really dives deep into your intuition and understanding that the moon and the light of the moon is guiding choices. So for the furthest left pile, this is the reading for this full moon cycle, which is looking like coming from a place of stillness and moving into a place of clarity, and then working with others to move towards your goals. Now we'll take a look at the middle pile. The middle pile card of the reading, the main card of the reading, is yin and yang, reversal, dark and light and dark. And it's the snake zodiac with the yin yang symbol hanging from a tree. This card's a lot about this idea of hanging, but hanging in suspense and like looking with intent. And the snake has these piercing eyes and is gazing steadily with no movement. So again, the sort of stillness and a kind of clear seeing and understanding that what you may see as dark actually has some light in it, and what you see as light also has dark in it. So it's this complementary understanding of the dual nature of the world and of the dual nature of all circumstances. So it's a card about perspective. It's also a card about waiting, sort of waiting for the right time. Behind that, we have the Fairy Queen. So this card is about we have the Fairy Queen with the pig zodiac, and she says, grounded and at ease. So the Fairy Queen, she rules over the elementals on Earth. So each rose garden, each tree, each spring grove, they all have these fairies that tend to them and look after them. So if you haven't ever tuned into your backyard fairies or sort of your neighborhood, I recommend going for a walk in the park and just really tuning in with the nature and the spirit elements of the nature around you, and see how that makes you feel and understand your greater connection with the physical realm. And so coming from that place of the pig is also a symbol of abundance and sort of happiness, and moving into this yin-yang duality, sort of understanding that there's a masculine and a feminine, or there's you could also call it like a receptive and also driving forward. So moving into that energy, and then we have coming into your intuition. So the intuition is a wood card. And the wood card has this oracle bone script. This is oracle bone script from the Shang dynasty that is the word for I. And it also represents intuition. And this is the Chinese character for I up here. And down here you have the words oracle bone script. So they used to throw these bones to discern when to take certain actions, or when to plant crops, when was a good fortuitous time to go on a journey. So this card represents, in partnership with the waiting card, it's kind of like tune in, like spend time understanding what your intuition's telling you, how you're feeling. Your gut will allow you and reveal to you the right timing and the right decisions. That's all inside of you. And this card, this beautiful Fairy Queen card, is sort of receiving that support from nature. That nature will really grant you a lot of connection to yourself, because we are nature as well. And that will allow you to make this kind of connection into your own inner guidance. So for the middle pile, this is the reading for this full moon. And it's funny because the direction does seem to be going, even in the last reading, towards this sort of deeper understanding of your inner wisdom. So for the far right pile, we have the season of winter, the season of water. So this is where we are. We're entering into this. We are coming up upon the winter solstice tomorrow, which is this really such a beautiful time of year to just be quiet and to be still and to let everything go deep and underground in the snow, like the animals that hibernate and like the seeds that germinate. And it's this time, similar to the snake card in the previous reading, it's this time of waiting and resting and allowing the recharge to happen. And water is, of the 5 elements, it really has the most depth and a lot of spiritual depth. So it's a good card for checking in with your own sort of spirit side. Behind that, we have Kuan Yin. So Kuan Yin, goddess of mercy, and it says in here, compassion and forgiveness. So she's blooming out of this lotus, sort of this classic, from the mud comes the beautiful lotus. And Kuan Yin really represents this forgiveness, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, forgiving circumstances. Like, this is a good time of year to put all of those things to rest, kind of like the winter card, and just let all of that go underground and get recycled into new growth for the spring. So any hurts, any past hurts for the past year, or even further past, it's really good to let that go and allow, once you let that go, you can allow your love to shine through. And then coming up in the future, it's very interesting. Next to these sort of watery cards, this is an actual water card, but Kuan Yin has a lot of this watery aspect in her spiritual dimension and in her the lotus's bloom from the water. Following through with that, we have the essence of fire. So in contrast, moving into this, the essence cards really are about beginnings. So you have this new energy, like fire's a lot of action and a lot of energy coming. So very, lots of contrast with this sort of very quiet time and moving into this place of opportunity and action and passion and a lot of potential here for new opportunities. So that's it for the next couple weeks in this full moon in Gemini, and happy winter solstice to everyone. Hope you have a beautiful one. Oh, I get to figure out how to turn off the light.